Hey, what's going on, y'all? Hey, it's your boy D Mike, the creator. I want to touch on this quote here. Benjamin Franklin said, "There's only two certainties in life, right? Taxes and death." And I disagree with that. I believe there's more to that, and obviously everything is perception. But the first one I did want to touch on was change. Two certainties, change, whether it be seasons. You know what I mean? Feelings, our emotions, they change every day. Right? We have 4 seasons throughout the year. Sports, they have its season to play within that year. You know what I mean? And our emotions, they change. We could feel one thing one day, and we can feel another the next day over the same thing, whatever it might be. You know, that is a certainty, and one of the most important things I believe is relationships. It changes, because we first of all, no, I'm sorry, we change, we evolve, we change as human beings, but the relationships we have with people, places, and things, they change, right? As we grow, certain things might not uh, be for that changed self that we became, right? So just being able to understand and allow ourselves to change, for the seasons, our emotions within relationships, you know, um, it's very important though. And another one would be choices, right? Like I got my little docket right here, by the way, in case you see me looking down, because I'm not the most. I don't remember everything, right? I just got little points, but choice is free will, right? Um, that those are uncertainties, right? Um, we have a choice to respond, react the way that we do, whether that be in a positive light or negative light, even though that's perception. Is good and bad is your own perception, whatever you perceive that to be, because somebody's wrong could be somebody's right, and somebody's right could be somebody's wrong, right? The whole thing. Um, how we interpret growth. It's like free will. We can be able to do whatever we want within, even within structures, right? I got a little buzzer right there. It's beautiful up close. Hopefully, I can see it. Where's it at? There it is, right there in the background. You see it? Just flew on this tree. Oh, it flew behind. Looks like a drone almost. Um, but yeah, choices. I mean, that's a certainty in life. Like we get choices to make, to or to not make them, right? That's a gift, right? Sometimes we make choices consciously and unconsciously, right? It's a gift. You know what I mean? Um, thirdly, it would be cause and effect, right? Through through action, so karma, right? Through actions, spoken words is a very powerful thing behind our words. First of all, um, whether it be like, make sure I didn't step into any dog poop. How we have intentions within life, like for our wants, needs, but and that's a universal law, right? The universal law of cause and effect, right? Karma. What we put out, we will get back, and just being able to understand the flow of that, you know, because the universe does have a flow about itself, patterns within the causes and effects that we do entertain, right? Um, I like that one. I like this next one. Impermanence. I'm sorry. Impermanence. Make sure I'm pronouncing that correctly though, right? Because I like this one the most because nothing physical lasts forever. Nothing physical lasts forever, right? Main one, these bodies we live in, they don't last forever. Make sure this mic is still on. I just press it, make sure I can turn it off. These bodies, they don't last forever, right? We're in here for a short amount of time. You know, if some lucky enough to reach 70 years, a short amount of time, right? It's very quick opposed to eternity. Think about that. Think about life here on Earth. The numbers we place on each other, like the years to infinity. Think about that, right? Short amount of time. Um, like I said, these bodies are physical. These items that we want, crave, are physical. Like let's talk about we can talk about these phones actually. These phones, right? Doesn't last forever. They're not even meant to last forever, right? They're meant. So the topic. I don't want to get on a whole tangent because I know I will. I can. These phones could be up because these phones, you know, we're on what iPhone. I'm on an iPhone 13 Pro Max. I'm not sure what's the newest one now. I think it's 16 or 17. I'm not sure, but either way, it's gonna keep on going, right? It's not meant to last forever. Um, you know, chairs that we sit in, they make new ones every day. Or let's even think about these houses we live in, right? They're meant to last for a certain amount of time. Physical. Let's talk about the food. They don't last forever, right? It's a lot of things that we can be able to talk about. Though. Civilizations is another one. It's a big one. Um, they don't last forever. It's very temporary. A lot of these things that we sometimes we forget though. A lot of things that are physical, we want them to last forever so bad, right? But it's a certainty that they do not last forever. Impermanence, right? Death. So that's one thing I did agree with. Um, with be frank, but I want to divide it into three portions though, because we all know about the physical death, right? We just talked about it. Just talked about our bodies not lasting forever. That's one death. We have a mental death, in my opinion, which is the I believe I'll say it's the ego, right? Or not even that. Sometimes we just have certain ideologies and they shut away, you know. And I believe death is a good thing, though. You know, it depends on how you look at it. You know what I mean? Old things die off, so new things can arrive into the the new being things, right? Like that's evolution, right? We're here to evolve. So you know, you got the physical death, the mental death, and also the spiritual death, right? Everything we see here is spiritual. Um, there is a trinity within almost everything, in my opinion, right? And you know that's having our souls keep on, you know, transforming, learning new things within this reality here that we live in, you know. So that's one thing. Death. That's another thing, right? Growth, growth, certainties in life. Um, we will experience growth, right? From physical, mental, or spiritual aspect. And sometimes our growth slows down or it might halt, right? Because we're always growing, whether we believe know we are or not, like consciously or unconsciously. We're always growing. That's something that is very certain in life, that we will grow. That's for sure, right? And a lot of growth happens under pressure, right? Diamonds are made under pressure. They grow into a beautiful object, beautiful thing, right? We, as human beings, we grow into beautiful things under pressure. It might not seem like it in within the time being, but we grow under pressure. Um, but growth, that is a certainty in life, that we will grow. Some grow faster than others. Some have a wider range of growth than others, but either way, we still grow. There's no comparison between each other. It's just the fact that we all grow as a collective, as a whole, right? And certainties is truth. Another one is truth, right? I wrote down relationship, society, um, even with you or within you, truth, right? Um, not saying that you're being lied to. It's not the narrative I'm building, but certain truths get exposed to us after a certain amount of time, or we might search for the truth for certain things that we're not aware of at the time, right? We learn the truth about certain things, right, in a positive or negative light. That's a certainty. I'm not saying we're gonna know the truth about every single thing, but if you put your mind on it, you focus on it, you put your attention on it, you will find it, right? The truth, right? That is inevitable. That is a certainty in life, right? We will be able to have the opportunity for the truth to present itself to us, right? Next, suffering and joy, right? I like this one though. I really do like this one because there's duality in life, right? You got the good and not so good. I really don't like saying the word bad. It's just what is bad. You know what I mean? Somebody's bad, somebody's good, somebody's good, and somebody's bad. But the good and not so good. There's duality in life, right? Um, you know, both do happen. I feel like I just heard somebody stepping back there. I don't know what they're doing out there, but it's really about what you focus on, what you want to focus on. That's what you'll experience the most. Because I mean, even when not so good things happen to us, we have the choice, the opportunity to see the good things in that situation. Because there's always some good in the bad. One of my favorite quotes is, "Not every day is gonna be good, but there's some good in every day." Like it's all about what we want to focus on, right? What do we put our awareness, attention on? Because we always can find that good in that not so good setting environment, right? The dark can exist, or the light can exist in a dark place, right? And also there's a balance between it within ourselves, because nothing is really outside of us. Everything is in us, right? Everything is within. Okay. So suffering and joy, the duality of that. Okay. And lastly, number 9 is the self as a witness. So we are the observer, right? These are certainties in life. We are the observer. right? And what I mean by that is we are all consciousness in these physical bodies, observing our perspective from, from where we stand at of of reality, right? Which is our own reality, right? We are the observers of our own reality, and we're not able to experience others people's realities unless they allow us to allow us in, but we still won't be able to understand it from their perspective because their perspective is the most authentic perspective within their vessel. But they can always try to explain it in such a way where we can try to understand. It's all about, you know, giving grace, being empathetic, showing empathy to want to understand, right? And understanding that sometimes we won't be able to fully understand things because we didn't go through what others went through, right? As observers. But just understanding this that this whole experience is for us to, you know, it's trial and error. Experience, observe, see, learn, and we can learn stuff about ourselves each and every day, right? So that's my nine right there, though, right? Um, so I don't believe that there's only two certainties: taxes and death in life, and there's probably plenty of more other than the nine that I announced of certainties in life. But just wanted to talk about that. I thought it was something very interesting to look into, to look at from a different perspective. But thank you guys for tuning into this message of mine. Boy D Mike the Critter. Y'all have a great rest of y'all's day today. Peace.